We are roughly a quarter of the way through Season 1 of the Las Vegas High Rollers MyNBA franchise here on NBA 2K26. I'm super appreciative of all the support that you guys have shown for the series so far. Episode 2, which I uploaded last week, has over 570,000 hype points. That's a lot. The video is 27th on the leaderboard. We're in dude perfect conversations right now, which is pretty cool. This is all your guys doing, though. You guys are the ones who clicked the button, so I'm super appreciative of that, and let's see if we can do it again. We've got a fun episode today as we're going to take our first look at the draft class, our very first prospect profile of the series. This year's draft class is going to be a lot different than we've seen in the past, which I'll explain a little bit more shortly. Through 25 games, our team is currently 7-18, which is not good. But it's not horrible either. There are a number of teams in the NBA who are worse than us. We have won 2 games in a row as well. There aren't really many major statistical categories that our team is doing really bad in other than road record at 1-10. But we also don't really have many strengths, and we don't have an identity yet for the team, which is understandable. We're only 25 games in with this group. The newest addition to the Eastern Conference, the Minnesota Timberwolves, 23-3. They have certainly not needed to adjust moving to the East, which is understandable given that the East is a lot worse than the Western Conference. Of course, CJ McCollum has been the star at the show. 24 points per game this year on really solid shooting splits. He's given us everything we could hope for as our true number one option and our lead shot maker. He certainly has built up some value at the trade deadline, but maybe he's a guy we just want to keep. We've had a pretty hard time finding a number 2 option, although we're making sure Aaron Wiggins is shooting the ball more. Granted, his efficiency has gone down here in the month of December, but he is averaging over 18 points per game, and it has become the second scoring option other than CJ McCollum. Jaden Hardy and Ochai Agbaji also above 10 points per game. We're a little bit banged up right now. Bryce Sensabaugh and Jose Alvarado have both missed quite a bit of time. All right, with that, we're going to take a look at our first prospect profile of the season as we meet our new draft class for the first time. For those of you who have never watched a MyNBA franchise series of mine before, I use fictional draft classes with subscriber-made custom prospects. So that means you at home can make a prospect for next year's draft class by joining the Discord server. The link is in the description. Things are going to be a little bit different for this series because unlike the past, I will not be making the draft classes. I'm having somebody else do it this year. I have his social medias in the description if you want to follow him, and you can follow me while you're at it. Anyway, these draft classes are going to be even better than what I have done in the past. I've always felt like my draft classes, it's a little too easy to hit on some of the top prospects. That's not the case anymore. Let's look at Darren Peterson for an example. He is not in the draft class because he is a real prospect, rock chalk, but our new draft class guy has put a big emphasis with peak start age, potential, and then boom and bust percentage. And a lot of the prospects at the top of the draft class have higher bust percentages, which means it's going to be harder to hit on a lot of the top prospects. If you go back and look at NBA drafts within the past 5 or 10 years, you'll notice after the top 3 or 4 picks, it really is a crapshoot. Whereas in the past, with my draft classes, it felt too easy to get good players inside of the top 5 to 10 picks, and the bad teams in the NBA get good a little bit too quickly. That's no longer the case, so it's going to be a much bigger challenge for rebuilding teams like us to hit on our draft picks because there's going to be a lot less good players at the top, rather they will be scattered throughout the draft class. We do have a very valuable first-round pick this year, given that we are towards the bottom of the standings. And since we haven't made any trades yet, we have all of our own picks. There are no protections, but we don't have any additional picks from other teams at the moment. If the season ended today, we would have the 5th best odds for the number 1 pick, which honestly is better than I would have expected coming into the year, but there are some really bad teams this year. The Wizards are 3-21. The Celtics, without Jason Tatum, have completely collapsed at 4-22. Sure, our team is not very good at 7-18, but our point differential is far better than the 4 teams below us. There are some really bad teams in the NBA this year. This class reminds me a lot of the 2024 class in the sense that there's not a clear number one guy. And I think depending on who you ask across the league, there could be 5 or 6 different players at the top of draft boards. The 3 NBA mock drafts currently all have different players going number one overall, which I think shows that in terms of the top talent in this class, they're a lot closer together than other years. Nonetheless, I do think it's a really fun group with a lot of very intriguing skill sets and a lot of guys who I think could help our team with our first round pick. Just by looking at these rankings and the mock draft projections, even the top guys in this class are scattered up and down the board, which I think is going to make this class really fun and unpredictable. How these guys play over the next few months will largely dictate where they end up going in this year's draft. If I had to pick a very slight favorite to be the number one pick, I think I would lean with Italian point guard Tony Mariano, who is the modern-day lead guard with shades of Cade Cunningham and Luka Doncic in his game. He comes in at 6'7".
6'7", 6'7".
Around 228 pounds with a 7'1" wingspan. The size and intangibles are really impressive. I mentioned the comparison earlier with Cade and Luka. I think stylistically, Mariano plays a very similar style of game. He's not going to be the most dynamic athlete on the floor. He's not going to run a gazillion miles an hour to the lane. He doesn't have a 40-inch vertical, but he's a savvy shot maker from all 3 levels, and he's dynamic as a playmaker. I don't quite think he's on the level of Cade or Luka as a passer. I do think he is a better defensive prospect than those guys. He's very solid on the perimeter, and with his size, he's a very switchable defender and can match up with forwards. Again, I'm not convinced at all that Mariano will be the number one pick, but I think he is the very slight favorite as of now. Romeo De La Rosa, hailing from Puerto Rico and the University of Florida, has some of the most exciting physicals in this class, coming in at 6'10" with a 7'4" wingspan. He primarily is a wing for Florida. He's a really intriguing perimeter defender. He can shoot the ball at a high level from deep, but he's gotten some on-ball reps this year. There is some creation upside with him, which, given his size, given his length, makes him physically one of the highest ceiling prospects in this draft class, in my opinion. And with his potential, there's certainly a good case to make for him going number one. Osiris Buckley is a rugged, physical, old-school style of big man coming from the University of Connecticut. He's drawn some comparisons to another former Husky in Donovan Clingan. I think as a prospect, he's a little bit more polished than Clingan was. He's really efficient around the basket. He's got great touch within 10 to 15 feet. I don't quite think he is the athlete or lob threat, though, that Donovan Clingan is, although he's not much worse. And a guy like him who doesn't really have an outside game in terms of his shooting ability or defensively, you wonder how he fits in the modern NBA, but I think he's got the athleticism and quickness to really be able to make it work, and I do think he'll be able to play in today's league. Latonka McClain from the University of Texas, nicknamed the Tonka Truck, is a really interesting evaluation. He's a 6'8" big man. He's very undersized for his position, but he plays bigger than his 6'8", 225-pound frame would suggest. I think some teams are going to be scared off by the fact that he is a little bit of a tweener. He's built like a 3. He plays like a 5. He doesn't really have much of an outside game. He doesn't have a three-point shot. He's not that quick on his feet in terms of his ability to switch onto the perimeter, but he's a tough physical player, and I think he'll find a way to make it work. Amon Cuvier, the French big man, certainly is a case as the top 7-footer in this class. He's really similar to Buckley from UConn, who we just talked about. Physically, the measurables are nearly identical. I think Cuvier's a little better offensively. He's still not very polished outside of the basket. He's a really good lob threat. I do think there is some long-term shooting upside with him, though. And then defensively, again, I think him and Buckley are fairly even. I think Buckley has him beat a little bit, but it's close. Tyler Rose from Washington is one of the most dynamic young guards in the country. He's amongst the Big Ten leaders in assists per game as a freshman. He's like a locomotive freight train driving to the basket, and once he's got a head in steam, no one is going to stop him. There is some shot-making potential with him. He's not very efficient, though. He's kind of like Jeremiah Fears a little bit from last year, a little bit bigger, not quite as good from deep, though, but his combination of playmaking, driving, and athleticism, I think suggests that he could be a really good player. Croatian forward Mirko Maravic's archetype in the game is listed as a chaos general, and I think that's the perfect way to describe his game. There's a little bit of everything with him. There's a lot of good and a lot of bad on tape. Offensively, he just doesn't really provide a lot as a scorer yet. But I think he has potential defensively. He's not overly consistent on a play-by-play basis defensively, but he forces turnovers. He gets active in passing lanes. He's a good playmaker for his age at just 18 years old, and I think his court vision and his ball handling at his size at 6'7" is going to make him an intriguing long-term offensive piece, especially if he can get the scoring down. I don't think Jalen Wicks is ever going to be an all-star. I do believe the Georgia forward is going to stick in the league as a 3-and-D guy for 15 years. This is a player who impacts winning on both ends of the floor. He's one of the best and most consistent defensive prospects in this draft. He's one of the best catch-and-shoot guys in this draft. There is some shot-making potential, very much a work in progress, but his IQ for his age really stands out. Julian Wright from Syracuse. Scouts are kind of all over the place on him. One of the mock drafts has him going number 1, to put things into perspective. He's an intriguing 3-level scorer who has some games where he looks like the best prospect in the draft. He has other games offensively where he's a liability. Defensively, I think he's pretty good. 6'8", 235. He's built like a grown man right away. And I think physically he'll be able to hang in the NBA immediately. Jamie Thompson of UCLA is a disruptive force defensively, coming in at 6'10" with a 7'1" wingspan. Thompson's another guy who I think is going to stick for a long time as a role player. Very good catch-and-shoot guy. Close to 40% from beyond the arc as a freshman, and he's a really good perimeter defender. And at 6'10", he can match up with bigger guys. He has shown good flashes of switching down low onto bigs. University of Florida guard Michael Andrews is must-watch box office television. The most exciting freshman in college basketball. He can make a shot anywhere in the half court. The floor general for Florida's offense, he is an elite shot maker from beyond the arc. He's a really solid passer, primarily playing on the ball. I do wonder if he can play off the ball in the NBA. As an on-ball player, you have to be amongst the best shot makers, the best playmakers, the best ball handlers in the league. And if you can't play off, you're not going to stick in the league. So unless he is a Trae Young type of talent, and he might just be, he's going to need to add some other skills to his game. Gabriel Cortez is a flashy, dynamic point forward, if you will, hailing from España. 6'6", 220 pounds. The first thing you'll notice is how bulky he is. For a teenager, he's built physically. I mean, you walk next to him, he is physically imposing. He is jacked. He is hard to stop going to the basket with his strength. Really good scorer inside of 15 feet. The jump shot isn't really there yet, but he's got good touches in mid-ranger and a free-throw shooter, which suggests he could be a good three-point shooter down the line. French forward Seveline Diawara is one of the fastest rising players in this class. He went into the year barely in the rotation for FC Barcelona, one of the top teams in Europe, teammates with fellow Frenchman Amon Cuvier, who we talked about earlier. His role has increased throughout the year because I think he's the perfect connective offensive player. He's a secondary ball handler who's got good feel as a playmaker. He can somewhat score from all 3 levels. He reminds me a little bit of a poor man's Julius Randle, if you will. I think he has a lot of the same strengths as Randle, not that he's probably going to be as good. The next 2 guys we're going to go over are the 2 tallest players in the class. Otherwise, they could not be any more different. We'll start with big man Karthik Patel, hailing from India, where he grew up and played prior to this past season, now having signed a contract in Dubai. As you can tell there defensively, he's flat-footed. He's slow. And at 300 pounds, I wonder if he'll be able to succeed as an NBA athlete. The reason why he could go in the lottery is right here. He is a bully. He is the biggest player on the floor. He is the strongest player on the floor, and no one can stop him. In the league he currently plays in, he is basically Shaq. Will he be Shaq in the NBA? Probably not. And that poses the question of, now that he's going to be playing with bigger and stronger grown men, will he be as successful? Who knows? As for Mark Singleton, he is a 7'3", 245-pound big man with an 8-foot wingspan. He's part American and part Nigerian from Duke University. He has, obviously, elite size and length. He's got the longest arms in this class. He's the tallest player in the class. And he's got a 3-ball. Not every day do you see someone who's 7'3" with that long of arms who can shoot the 3 and protect the rim like he does. So why is he projected in the middle of the first round? Well, he is extremely raw. His basketball IQ is non-existent. He does not have a good feel for the game whatsoever. He is multiple years away from being an NBA rotation player, but with his size, his arm length, and his outside ability, he has the highest ceiling in this year's class, and it would not shock me at all if some team falls in love with him and drafts him in the top 5. The last guy we're going to look at is Marcus Bennett from Oregon. Really good defender. He always knows where to be on that end of the floor. He's an extremely disruptive defensive guard who's going to be a pain in the opposing team's side. He's an impressive athlete who doesn't really provide a whole lot else offensively yet. He's got to improve as a ball handler, his playmaking, his shooting. None of that's all that great. He's a much better transition offensive player because of his athleticism than his half-court ability, because he's not great as a point guard per se, since he's not a great playmaker. He's not really a good shot maker yet up to this point. In the half court, he's a little bit of a liability, but his athleticism makes him an intriguing project to build around. Let's look at these 3 mock drafts. The Sporting News is Romeo De La Rosa at number 1. It would not be the Knicks pick. That is incorrect. As I mentioned earlier, I'm going to fix all the draft picks prior to the trade deadline. Cuvier, Buckley, and Bennett at 2, 3, and 4, which means Tony Mariano falls all the way to number 5, where we would end up picking him. That would certainly be a fascinating scenario because I really do not expect Mariano to make it to the 5th pick. 2K has Mariano at number 1, Mark Singleton at 4. I told you, some team's going to fall in love with him. And then Miko Marovic at number 5, the Croatian forward, who we talked about earlier, is the agent of chaos, if you will. NBA.com has Julian Wright from Syracuse at number 1. He has games where he looks like the number 1 pick. Tony Mariano falls to the 5th pick again, where he ends up being the choice for us. There's no consistency within these 3 mock drafts, it feels like, and we'll probably get more answers as the following months go along, but this really could be one of the most unpredictable NBA drafts in recent memory, which is what I think is going to make it a really fun one. With that, our focus returns to the high rollers. We might have another prospect profile later in the season. For now, I think I want to play this game against the Phoenix Suns. We actually play them twice within a week span. We'll play the second game in January. So we'll go through this, I think, 8-game stretch. Got some good teams here. OKC, Milwaukee, Detroit. And we're really starting to get healthy. Sensabaugh, Alvarado, Abaji, all back. We would be fully healthy for about 4 days, because Jaden Hardy broke his ankle, and he'll be out for around a month or 2. This sucks, because Hardy has been playing some really good basketball. He was not in the rotation at the start of the year. Now he's one of our best players. He averaged 15 a game in December. Granted, his efficiency went down quite a bit. We ended up going 2-6 in this stretch. We lost our first 6 games with some bad performances. 8 of 37 as a team from 3 against Milwaukee. 35% from the field, while Giannis had 37. That is not good. We lost by nearly 40 to the Grizzlies. McCollum had 27. He was good. Can't really say the same for anybody else, while Jaren Jackson had 28. Got blown out by Detroit. Jaden Hardy was good. That's really about it. Cade Cunningham led the way for the Pistons. There were some positives, though. We almost beat Oklahoma City, only losing by 5, outscoring them by 18 in the 4th. You know, if Moussa Diabate didn't shoot 2 for 13, then maybe we would have won the game. We held Chet Holmgren in check. We held Jalen Williams in check. SGA didn't play, though, so that's part of the reason why they won by 5 instead of 25. We did win these last 2 games, though. We blew out the Bulls, 30 for McCollum, 20 for Ochai. Not everybody was great, but overall, a really solid team win. And then we beat the Sonics with 26 from McCollum. Very good three-point shooting game, 19 for 30. McCollum went 8 for 10 from deep and 1 for 9 from 2. Interesting. I feel like our team has had some really good three-point shooting games and then some really bad ones as well. Still currently the 5th worst team in the league. It'll be hard to be worse than the Wizards and the Celtics because, my God, those teams are dreadful. Let's look at this matchup against the Suns. Of course, led by Devin Booker, who's in the midst of another very strong season, over 25 points per game. Booker signed an extension with the Suns this offseason. Their roster has changed a lot around him, adding guys like Dillon Brooks, Mark Williams, Jalen Green. They haven't gotten a lot of contributions from their rookies yet. I was excited about their rookie class with Kaban Maluach, Rasheed Fleming, and Kobe Brea, but those guys haven't really been able to make an impact yet for the Suns, who sit at 13-20. As I mentioned in the past, had I not picked an expansion team this year, the Suns would have been the team I would have picked for this series. Instead of Devin Booker hoops, we get Jose Alvarado and Bryce Sensabaugh chucking up shots. But we wanted a challenge, and at least we have our draft picks, which makes the draft a little bit more fun. Moussa Diabate and Mark Williams, former Hornets teammates, meet for the tip. It goes to Williams. We are underway here in Phoenix between the Suns and the Las Vegas Rollers. Here is Mark Williams with it at the top of the key. Gets it over to Grayson Allen. Up top, Booker, top of the key. Three is good! And the Suns score first. Devin Booker, one of the very best offensive guards in the NBA. He will be here in Phoenix for a while, and as a Pistons fan, I am jealous. Grayson Allen, jumper is good. Nice find by Book. The Suns lead 5-0. Dillon Brooks with it on the drive, guarded by Ochai Agbaji. Back up for Booker. Booker with the slam, leaving CJ McCollum in the dust. I mentioned it a little bit in the last episode, but I think in terms of our guards, their foot speed and first step defensively is really bad. As McCollum hits the three, and the Rollers are finally on the board, as it's now 9-3. Suns looking good early. Booker matched up with McCollum inside. Booker, too easy. 9 points, 4 of 4 shooting. We've got to adjust. I don't think we can keep CJ McCollum on him. Booker again, and the Rollers are going to call time. We're going to switch things up. Jose Alvarado is now going to be Booker's matchup as he quickly forces the contest on Booker. Alvarado inside. Aaron Wiggins with the jam. The Suns were too focused on sending help for Alvarado. They didn't notice Wiggins with the cut to the basket. Want the miss. Alvarado with the rebound. Looks to get by Dillon Brooks. Alvarado in the corner. Agbaji for three is good as the triple rattles home. Ochai shooting around 43% from deep so far through the month of January. Granted, it's only been like 2 or 3 games. Still impressive. Look at this matchup. Wiggins and Williams. That's barbecue chicken, baby, all the way. And the lead is within 1 score. Good response after our slow start. The offense has really woken up over the last 4 minutes. McCollum with Williams now. Again, barbecue chicken. McCollum beats the buzzer, makes the layup, and the lead is within 1. Talk about responding off of the timeout. We did a great job. But then the Suns with the and 1. It's Grayson Allen on the backdoor cut. McCollum called for the foul. We were too slow to get back defensively. That's been another issue this year. I just think our team is slow and flat-footed. Ryan Dunn with the jam. The former University of Virginia forward. 51-3. Shout out to the Virginia Tech dynasty. Around the screen, Jake LaRavia knocks down the 3. 20-17. Agbaji with it over to Jose Alvarado. Little over 3 to go in the quarter. McCollum around the screen from Cornette. Top of the key. Triple is good. McCollum's got 8. We're knotted up at 20. Booker brings it up for the Suns. Alvarado with him. Booker, he's got room and he lets it fly. Alvarado was expecting drive, but Booker stops at the 3-point line and lets it rain. Agbaji in the corner for Luke Cornette. Back up for Ochai around the screen. Agbaji all the way with the jam. Ochai's got bunnies. I mean, he can get up there. As we see on that play, Devin Carter with the sauce, the cross, and the finish. And the lead is within 1. 27-24 now. Booker for 3, no good. Nice closeout by Carter. And here come the Rollers. Carter's got it with a little over a minute left in the quarter. Cornette wide open with the jam. Mark Williams, I don't know what he was doing. Lollygagging at the 3-point line. Here is Cornette with it now off the pass by Carter. Pump fake. Cornette over Williams. It bounces in. And the lead is within 1. Booker on the drive. He's blocked. Bryce Sensabaugh with the denial. Rollers can take the lead. LaRavia in the corner. Jalen Clark around the screen at the buzzer. It's good! Jalen Carter! It's a long 2. His foot was inside the line, but we'll take it. Our first lead of the game, 30-29 in favor of the Rollers. McCollum leads the way with 8. Wiggins with 6. Devin Booker, meanwhile, has 18 points for the Suns. He has been the entire offense so far. Rasheer Fleming, the rookie from St. Joseph's, grabs his own miss and is there with the putback for the lead. A lot of people, myself included, were surprised he fell to the second round, but certainly to the Suns' benefit, as Carter has it ripped away by Richards. Green back inside. Nick Richards, floater with the left hand is good, and the Suns are back ahead, 33-31. Devin Carter brings it up. He gets it to Aaron Wiggins. That one rattles home. Wiggins missed both of his threes in the first quarter. Gets that one to fall. 1 point lead for the Rollers. Agbaji, step back, fouled, and one! A potential 4-point play for Ochai Agbaji. He would make the three throw as Booker loses it. Devin Carter with the steal. Devin on Devin crime as Oso Ighodaro, the former Phoenix Sun, is in with the slam. 40-35. Wiggins for three. No good. Ighodaro the rebound. Pump fake. Ighodaro gets the putback. Oso's making some plays against his former squad. The Rollers are on a roll, pun intended. Why stop now? Bryce Sensabaugh for three. 8-point lead. Shot no good inside for Ryan Dunn. Wiggins with the rebound. Tries to get the screen. Dunn stays with him. Dribble handoff. Sensabaugh with the slam. It has been all fabulous Las Vegas. Here in the second quarter, they are up by 10 with around 5 to go in the first half. Green inside. Ryan Dunn with the backdoor cut and the reverse layup. Good play there by the Suns. Here is McCollum looking for the screen. CJ McCollum moving mid-ranger is good. The Rollers just cannot miss right now. The offense is in a really impressive rhythm as Sensabaugh's triple is off the mark. Right as I speak, we missed the shot. Brooks inside. Ryan Dunn, the and one poster over Agbaji. What a play by Ryan Dunn. He's made some nice plays offensively, known for his defense, but he's had some good plays in the paint today. Aaron Wiggins on the drive, throws it up and in. Shooter's bounce for Wiggins. He's got 11. Brooks gets it up for Devin Booker. Alvarado meets up with him at the top of the key. Doesn't matter. Devin Booker is that guy. 25 of the Suns' 48 points in the first half. Laravia with the... Oh, he missed it! I thought he was going to annihilate Grayson Allen. On the other end, Booker over Carter. It's good. 28 for Devin Booker. He's got over half of their points. 53-51. The Suns are right back within 2. Devin Booker has willed them into this game as McCollum drills the wide open corner three off the catch. 56-51, under a minute left in the half. Booker on the drive. Booker. And one! We cannot stop him. We can only hope to contain him. 56-54. That's 31 for Book. Carter on the drive with the missed dunk, but Cornette gets it back for the putback over Mark Williams. Doing the dirty work inside as it's 58-56 off the make by the Suns. Shot clock unplugged. Got to imagine the high rollers are going to hold. Here's McCollum matched up with Brooks. This is an interesting matchup. Brooks is one of their best perimeter defenders. McCollum step back at the buzzer. No good. An exciting first half of the hoops here in Phoenix. The Rollers lead at 58-56 with an impressive run early in the second quarter, but the Suns clapping back quickly. We've shot the three ball well as a team, 8 of 18. The Suns only 4 for 14 in the first half. McCollum with 15, Wiggins with 11, Agbaji with 9. As for Phoenix, Booker has 31, 13 of 24 from the field. He is only 4 for 10 from deep. Granted, the rest of the Suns have not made a three between the rest of them, as Agbaji connects from the left wing to start the third. 65-56. Quick start to the second half. Ryan Dunn, another and one. He continues his impressive game offensively, now with 11. The only other Sun with Booker in the double figures. Wiggins on the drive. The layup is good. Aaron Wiggins up to 15, chirping at, I guess, the fans, as it's an 8-point game. Wiggins in the corner. Three ball. Ryan Dunn drills another, and the Suns are within 5. 67-62. Devin Carter in off the bench quickly to start the third. Carter, floater, no good. Nice defense by Devin Booker. He'll bring it up for the Suns, looking to make it a one-score game. Booker, pull-up three is good, and the lead is within 2. 67-65. Alvarado with it. Whoop! Nice move in the corner. Laravia, bang! I'm surprised Alvarado didn't go for the floater. But I guess it worked out since we made the 3, although that's a harder shot to make. 25 feet away from the basket as opposed to 2. Fadeaway, triple, Ochai Agbaji connects. 76-73. That one puts the Rollers ahead. Agbaji looking for the screen, wants another, and he gets it! 18 points, Agbaji's 5th 3 of the game. 6-point lead. Booker over Alvarado, knocks it down. Devin Booker and the entire Rollers team are basically trading three-pointers at this point, as that one's tipped and stolen by Dylan Brooks. Nobody in front of him. Booker in for the layup. Moravia hustles down the floor quick, but Brooks still makes the play, and the lead is within 1. Grayson Allen inside. Williams with Carter. I mean, come on, what are we supposed to do? And 1 for the marksman, Mark Williams. He would miss the 3 throw, though, so the lead stays at 1, as Aaron Wiggins puts the Rollers right back ahead with the slam. 81-80. Handoff, Jalen Clark from Diabate. His 3 no good. Diabate the rebound and the putback. Diabate has 9 rebounds today. He's averaging over 15 rebounds per game per 36 minutes this year. Sensabaugh gets it over to Aaron Wiggins. Wiggins with the shot clock unplugged. Can't get room. Back up to Sensabaugh with 5. Posts up on the defender. Sensabaugh, turnaround, step back. No good. Did not get it off anyway. That'll wrap up the third. This game has been as back and forth as it gets. 83-82. Agbaji with 9 in the third. McCollum with 6. Booker, meanwhile, leads the Suns with 8 more. He's up to 39 points this afternoon as we move into the fourth. Booker's 3 won't go, but Nick Richards, another former Hornet big man, soaring to the lane for the putback. 83-84. Sensabaugh around the screen for 3. Ice Bryce puts the Rollers up by 2. Quickly down the length of the floor. It's Richards with the slam. And again, we've got to get back quicker. It's partly because our guys are slow, but it's got to be a little bit of an effort thing, too. We've got to hustle back. Jalen Green misses the open 3. McCollum, crossover. McCollum puts the defender on skates. His 3 is good, raising the roof. The Rollers up 89-86, 7.5 to play. Green, sidestep, throws up a triple, and it's good. 89-89, Jalen Green ties it up. Here's Carter on the drive, wide open lane. Too easy for the Providence Friar, as it's 91-89. Nigel Hayes-Davis inbounds it for Connor Gillespie, a couple of former AP first-team All-Americans. Booker inside for Mark Williams, and we're tied again, now at 91. Under 7 to go. Alvarado has not scored yet. Now would be a good time to change that. The Euro on Booker for the lead. Devin Carter, 6 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, filling up the stat sheet as he's done throughout the year. In for the slam, and the Rollers will add to the lead. 95-91, 5.5 to go. Colin Gillespie up top. 3 ball, won't go for the Suns. Rebound by Iguodaro. Diabate gets it to Alvarado, swings it out. Jalen Clark, left wing triple is good. Clark puts Las Vegas up by 7. Here's Devin Booker with it, looking to start the comeback. Step back 3 is good. Snatching Alvarado's ankles. 100-94. Booker has it ripped away. Iguodaro with the steal. Alvarado lobs it up. Iguodaro with the jam. Oso's having himself a game against his former team. 10 efficient points, 6 boards, making his presence felt defensively as Agbaji hits another 3. It's an 11-point game, the biggest this lead has been either side all night. Now a 9-point game. Booker gets it inside. Grayson Allen for 2. And the Rollers are going to call time. We certainly don't want to blow this game. The Suns are very much in it. McCollum layup is good. Nice drive by CJ. He's got 20. McCollum, Agbaji, Wiggins, all roughly at the 20-point threshold. They've all been really solid. Booker, step back 3 is good. His footwork is just unbelievable. I mean, if you're training to be a young guard, watch how Devin Booker moves his feet, because it is a work of art. Step jumper is good for McCollum. We used the entire length of the shot clock as well. That possession really could not have gone better. Wasted time and a score. McCollum swings it out to the perimeter. Bang! Jake LaRavia for 3. 9-point lead for the Rollers with just over a minute. Booker, layup is good. He's inching pretty close to 50. I don't think he's going to get it, but he'll be close. Here's McCollum with it on the drive, trapped inside. We want to waste time, but if we get an easy bucket, we'll take it. Aaron Wiggins, the reverse layup, and that'll make it a 9-point lead. Could that be the dagger with 50 seconds left? Booker gets the screen from Ryan Dunn. Little pick and roll action. Good play there by the Suns. Quick possession, didn't waste much time, got the 2. Now they're going to play the press as McCollum breaks it without much of an issue. McCollum on the drive. We're going to look to, again, waste some time unless we get an easy bucket. Wiggins, pump fake. Wiggins, night! Aaron Wiggins saves basketball and ends the game for the Suns. 118-107, a really solid win here on the road for the Las Vegas Rollers, who for the first time in franchise history are in the midst of a 3-game winning streak. How cool is that? Our record on the year goes up to 10-24, I believe. McCollum 22, Abaji 21, Wiggins 21. All 3 of those guys super efficient. Wiggins only went 1 for 5 from 3, but he went 9 for 13 from 2. Carter was solid. Iguodala was solid. Everybody else did what they needed to. We didn't really have anybody play bad. 47-10 for Booker, 50% from the field, nearly 50% from deep. Yeah, he's pretty good, in case you were unaware. I was impressed with Ryan Dunn. I think Mark Williams played pretty well too, but that's really about it for the Suns, who only shot 28% from beyond the arc. The trade deadline's getting close. We're roughly a month away. I think we're going to simulate a little bit before that, prior to this matchup against Golden State, so we'll go through a 9-game stretch with some tough teams. OKC, San Antonio, the Warriors, Dallas, Orlando, Miami. Moussa Diabate collapsed lung. That is not fun. He'll be out for 2 to 4 weeks, which means we'll see more Luke Cornett and more Oso Iguodala. So we ended up going 2-7 during the stretch, which is not great. We did beat the Spurs. McCollum 21, Wiggins 19. We limited Wembanyama, who, well, when we played them in the last episode, we certainly did not limit him, per se. We also beat the Hornets, a little less impressive because they're not that good. McCollum and LaRavia combined for 55. Very efficient game from Jake LaRavia. LaMelo with 23, granted on 22 shots. In both wins, we shot at least 50% from 3. This team has had so many games where they shoot at least 50% from 3, yet we're still not a good 3-point shooting team. In terms of notable performers, Bryce Sensabaugh has looked his best since the start of the year. Oso Iguodala is having a really nice January. I think we're going to get him some more starting reps. Jose Alvarado, coming back from injury, has looked like a completely different player offensively. So those 3 guys have really stood out, and are certainly going to see more playing time going into February, going into the trade deadline. We've got a handful of expiring contracts. McCollum, obviously the big name, because he's going to have some value. With the year that he's had, some contending team is going to want him. It's an interesting dilemma, though, because on one hand, I'm sure we could get some picks out of him, but he's done a really good job for this team, and maybe he's a guy we just want to keep long term. I'm curious to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. Hope everyone enjoyed. Let me know what you thought of the draft class down below as well. Don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. Peace out.